What's up everybody and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about how DC got something incredibly wrong which Marvel, their number one rival if we may say, got it absolutely right. I'm sure fans who are invested in either of these two universes already have an idea of what I'm talking about from the thumbnail that I have put for this video. Yes, I'm gonna be talking about how using Superman in Justice League way too much killed the entire movie including the rest of the characters. But if you have already watched Endgame, you will know Marvel now has a similar character like Superman of DC, and that is Captain Marvel. Right after watching the origin story of Captain Marvel, even the Marvel fans were complaining that she is too overpowered, and Justice League is the best example of how an overpowered superhero can win your entire movie. With the ending of Infinity War, MCU was already teasing the pathway of Captain Marvel, which did raise a lot of questions among the fans if Marvel is gonna make the same mistake like DC in Avengers Endgame. So what exactly is that mistake that I'm talking about? The main antagonist in Justice League was Steppenwolf, and we saw how powerful he is. The likes of Batman, Wonder Woman or The Flash couldn't get the better of him. But when Superman comes into the plot, it takes him less than 4 minutes to completely annihilate the primary villain of the movie.
But I'm also a big fan of justice. All right.
That can be truly satisfying for Superman fans, but in terms of story arc of other characters shown in the movie, it was an awful ending considering the rest of the characters. Imagine this, you build an entire plot of heroes struggling to defeat the villain and they come up with a solution, and the solution is so big and has so much of a life of its own that it looks more like a replacement rather than a solution. It's like the heroes are admitting they can't defeat the antagonist, so they just bring somebody who not only replaces the entire team but also comes up on top against Steppenwolf, and that too with extreme ease. We never saw Superman struggling against Steppenwolf, because why would he? Superman is too OP to be fighting someone like Steppenwolf, or at least the Steppenwolf that has been shown in the movie. And that's exactly how an OP character can take away all the credits or plot points just to have a satisfying ending, and that's exactly what Marvel didn't do in Avengers Endgame. We all know how OP Captain Marvel aka Carol Danvers is. I mean, she single-handedly destroyed the entire Sanctuary 2 in less than 20 seconds in the movie. Thanos' punch would send the other Avengers totally off the battlefield, but he couldn't even manage to move Captain Marvel, and that's just how strong she is. So how do you clear this character from the big picture so that the finishing touch comes from the original Avengers instead of an OP character? You throw her off with the Power Stone. Imagine if Thanos hadn't been so smart and didn't blast her with the Power Stone, what would have happened? She would have won. She would not just get the gauntlet off of Thanos' hand, but also break his fingers, because that's just how OP she is. And then what happens? We get an ending where Tony lives, which would be satisfying, no doubts. But would it do the characters any justice? If Thanos' defeat after all these years of storytelling came at the hands of a superhero who was introduced just a few months ago, as much as the survival of the 6 original Avengers would satisfy us, but an ending of that sort would make everyone feel incomplete, because when a story ends with the one who started it all, brings everyone back to their seats just to wonder what just happened. And that's why we don't complain about lazy storytelling in Avengers Endgame, but we did for Justice League. I know they're two different movies, but in terms of the general idea, all these movies represent one single idea, which is the protagonist assembling against the villain to show him a path that leads to his defeat. Plus, Marvel kept Carol Danvers of the movie for majority of the duration, and that too with a logical and valid explanation, which is whatever is happening on Earth is happening on other planets as well. And because she's so overpowered, it can only be her and her only who takes care of rest of the planets. And what did keeping her away from the entire plot do to the movie? It allowed the original Avengers to complete their decade-long story arc. Now I know Justice League was always going to be deemed as a rushed movie because of how all the superheroes just came together without their actual origin stories, but still, perhaps if they hadn't brought back Superman and showed how Batman and his crew are struggling to defeat Steppenwolf, that would have been more fun to watch. After all, we all expect the heroes to win at the end of any movie, but we want to see how uniquely he or his team manages to defeat the villain with so many obstacles to climb. We fans don't just want want a satisfying ending, but an ending that would serve the characters justice. And that's how Marvel justified their storytelling with Avengers Endgame, and Justice League just couldn't.